A Russian ultimatum to Ukrainian troops in Mariupol to surrender or die expired on Wednesday afternoon, with no mass capitulation. The commander of Ukraine's apparent last stronghold in the city says his men might have only hours left. He said besides soldiers, including 500 wounded soldiers, there were hundreds of civilians in the bunker under the Azovstal steelworks plant.
This is our appeal to the world. This could be the last appeal of our lives. We are probably facing our last days, if not hours. The enemy is outnumbering us 10 to 1. We appeal to the world leaders to help us. We ask them to use the procedure of extraction to take us to the territory of a third-party state.
Russian state TV said that about 120 civilians living next to the Azovstal steelworks left via humanitarian corridors. The deputy mayor of Mariupol said he did not trust Russia when it came to providing humanitarian corridors in the besieged city.
It would be good if they would allow civil citizens to leave Azovstal territory or to leave the city, but they didn't allow this for 50 days. Why should they allow this now?
He also appealed to Western countries to supply promised weapons as quickly as possible.
Situation is changed, and we understand that we need more hard weapon. I mean artillery, I mean tanks, I mean armored vehicles with long range of working.
Mariupol has been under siege for nearly 8 weeks. Residents are living without regular water, electricity and gas supplies. A makeshift market has been formed where people can buy food and other necessities and charge their mobile phones from a generator for about £1. A Reuters correspondent said prices at the market were extremely high compared to what people would normally pay there. At least 4 people were killed and 16 others wounded on Tuesday in missile strikes on Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. One resident said one of the victims worked as security for a nearby business.
Every day he went to go and get something to eat. Every day. The shelling began and everyone fled. Then we came out here. The old guy was already dead.
2 volunteers for the local Red Cross recounted their 3 weeks in Russian captivity after they were freed through a prisoner exchange. They said they were helping people flee villages on the front line in northern Ukraine when they were detained by Russian soldiers in March. Both said they were then held with around 40 other captives on the concrete floor of a nearby factory, their hands bound. The Russians brought food once or twice a day, mostly army crackers and the occasional pot of cooked food. Vladimir Kropon said he and other prisoners had to share 2 small plastic spoons, so some people ate with their hands, others with scraps of paper. After nearly a week, both said that they and around 14 other detainees were loaded onto a military truck and taken to an official detention center in Russia. They said they stopped in Belarus and were interrogated there by the Russian military.
They made me kneel, covered my eyes and interrogated me. In a cold, drafty room dressed in prisoner uniforms. The temperature in the room was 10, 12 degrees maximum. We were all shaking in the draft, and this, together with being beaten during the interrogation, played well into the hands of Russians.
First I had to undress. I was naked. They took photos of my scars. I have a few. They described them. Then they poured water over me, beat me. The first 7 days I spent at the military hospital with 3 servicemen. 2 of them I do not even know if they are still alive. They gave us 1.5 litres of water per day, which we did not drink, but gave to the 2 servicemen.
And the United Nations Refugee Agency said the number of Ukrainians fleeing abroad since Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th has now passed 5 million. Millions more are internally displaced within the country. Trevor Piper, NTD News.